Good morning. My name is Emily Conger, and I am so privileged to serve as the minister for the Longmont Unitarian Universalist Presence, also known as the Loop. And I'm delighted to welcome you to the first ever Boulder Valley UU Fellowship, Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder, and Loop online brunch. We have an amazing service for you today that is collaborative. Brigitte Vieira from Boulder Valley and Janet Evans from the UU Church of Boulder are serving as our service associates. And Deborah Mensch, Bill Beachley, and Bob Evans are our tech hosts today. If you're having technical difficulties, send a chat to Usher Bob Evans for assistance. The music today is also the fruit of a combined effort. Kitty and Benny Kailbarn of the Loop, Deborah Hammond of UUCB, and Tad Koriath and Emily Jaworski of BVUUF all pitched in to record songs for today. You will have the ability to chat with anyone during the service, but please be mindful of what you send through the chat and to whom. This morning, you'll be invited to participate in moments of gratitude, reflection, and engagement with the spirit of playful meaning making, and you will always have the right to pass. We hope each of you has at least a morsel of food that you can save for a ritual at the end. We invite you to come as you are, eating, sitting, lying down, moving, with your camera on or off. We are so glad that you are here.
And good morning, my friends. It is a joy to be with you this morning. I'm Reverend Dana Lightsey, the minister at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder, also known as UUCB, and I welcome you. This service is a true collaboration from all three congregations, and I welcome this opportunity for all of us to get to know each other better today and to enjoy each church's different ways of doing things, and to nourish ourselves and each other by coming together in one Boulder Valley beloved community. So, in the spirit of seeing our beautiful Boulder Valley beloved community, I invite you now to click on the gallery view. Let's just click on that Who is out there? Oh my goodness, we have 147 little windows with multiple people. Why don't you wave to each other? Hey, everybody. Great to see you. And I invite you now, as you're looking around, maybe you see people you know, maybe you see someone you don't know. I invite you to find one person or one window of people that maybe you haven't seen in a while or you don't know, and invite them in your mind and in your heart to sit with you today and to be with you in this service. Like, you know, come sit with me in this pew. Sit next to me today. Come be a part of this with me. And throughout the service, think of them as you venture through this beautiful service and enjoy the great blessing as we weave together our communities together. Thank you, everyone.
And I'm Reverend Lydia Ferrante Roseberry. Good morning. I'm the minister of the Boulder Valley UU Fellowship in Lafayette, also known as BVUUF. Today we are coming together to nourish our shared history. First, there's the local history of these three communities, with BVUUF and the UU Church of Boulder being the root congregations for the Longmont UU presence. Everyone is welcome here today, as every newcomer becomes a part of that shared history. Today we're also anchoring ourselves in our Christian UU roots. At BVUUF, we're looking at the sources all summer long. And so this source of Christianity will be engaging in Loop's dinner church liturgy and sharing food and ritual as was done in the gatherings of the early Christian communities, as well as other religious communities. I want to invite you to center yourself with these words, adapted by the Reverend Andrew Backus. Come in from the heat. Make yourself a religious home, if only for these brief moments, in spite of time, which will soon bear us away from one another.
Make this family. Treat us as your own. Make us a religious family, if only in this virtual space, which we make sacred by our connections here and beyond.
Come on in. Make yourself at home. Sing and love life.
To start our time together and mark this time and digital space as sacred, I invite you to light your chalice. Chalices of many kinds are welcome, whether that is a candle, lamp, thumb, or metaphorical flame in your heart. These chalice lighting words are from the Reverend Eric Walker Wilkstrom. Here today, and in this place and with these people, may we listen so we can hear. May we hear so we can feel. And may we feel so we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice light our way.
I invite you to bring a spirit of thanksgiving into your heart as we say some words of gratitude together. We're going to lean into some beautiful chaos by inviting you to unmute for this repeat after me exercise. Our voices may be disjointed, but the message of messy gratitude will shine through. And once you're unmuted, say these
Forward, including whether or not we're seeking another long-term rent.
You need to pause and come clean.
Let us give thanks for the food that we share.
Let us give thanks for the people that we share. Food fills the body,
For the people we care.
makes us whole.
Share.
Let us give thanks down in our soul.
Soul.
Give thanks deep down in our
In our
soul.
soul.
Let us give
Our soul.
down in our soul.
Amen.
After the leader. So the leader was supposed to.
Oh, thank you, everyone. And now, even though you may have taken a bite, I don't know, I invite you to gather your food and drink, and before you take a bite, consider your food and your drink. I have a piece of apple here. Think about all of the ingredients that have come together to create this piece of food or drink. Let's just settle into a bit of a meditation and consider that in this food, you have sunshine and rain and the earth and minerals all coming together into this great magic that is going to nourish you. The essence of life is right here. It is a gift given from the earth, the sun, the cosmos. So go ahead and slowly enjoy a bite or a sip. Let this sacred gift flow into you Feel it nourishing you with that life energy. That life energy, which is the essence of love itself. And in this bite is the culmination of life from the very beginning of life, the first amoeba that ever appeared on this planet, right here in this bite. Take another bite. As love and life flow into you, consider all of the ways that you pass on this nourishment, this love, through your gratitude, giving it to others in the great flow of life. Let this nourishment bless you as you bless the world. I invite you to enjoy the beautiful song in our hymnal, We Give Thanks. Feel free to sing along if you like.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for this time we share, with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. All gathered here, and as far away, for this time we share, with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
That was gorgeous, and I'm still enjoying my own nourishment from Moxie Bakery down in Louisville. We chose the theme of nourish for this joint service. Nourish. To nourish means to provide sustenance for growth and for health and for just a good conditioning. And for sure, each of our communities nourishes us spiritually. And perhaps any newcomer that's amongst us today may be seeking some kind of nourishment, sustenance. It can also mean to have a feeling or a belief in one's mind, typically for a long time. Like the way the UUs in this area, especially those living in Longmont, have nourished the dream of a sustainable UU community in Longmont. And a third meaning of the word to nourish is to fertilize, like soil. The Longmont UU presence, or the loop, is a manifestation of that dream that has been fertilized in these two congregations and in individuals in Longmont. UUCB and BVUUF are the root congregations. We came together to nourish the dream, and that's been a part of a long reconciliation we've had after the initial breach that created these two congregations, or two congregations out of one in Boulder. And I can't tell you how much, as the minister of the congregation in Lafayette, it feels good to be reconnected with one another in this and a lot of other meaningful ways, like our youth group and coming of age and OWL. The Loop has a vision that's beyond the traditional bricks and mortar congregation. It's innovative, multicultural, multi-generational, a spiritual community for families of all configurations. Since 2016, they've been experimenting with a variety of worship styles and religious activities, settling on the dinner church model last year. Eating together ritually, like the mindful bite that we took together, even virtually. But eating together ritually is common in many religious traditions and particularly reminiscent of that of the early Christian church, which primarily consisted of a meal and a ritual in private homes until about the 4th century, when Emperor Constantine legalized Christianity in the Roman Empire. Before that, it was hidden, and they were threatened. Once those public gatherings were legal, the house church largely disappeared, except in Ethiopia and India, until the early days of the Reformation in the 1400s, when Jan Hus sought to help return Christianity to its roots after looking at all the opulence of Rome, when Christianity and the Roman Empire were so merged. Among other things, Jan Hus began reinstituting agape meals, or love feasts, to bring the community together. Ultimately, he was burned at the stake for these wildly radical ideas for this time, because what he really wanted was for people to come together without the need for church hierarchy or priests or lots of pomp and circumstance. The Hussites, as his followers were called, were one of the first Reformation groups to call for religious freedom and every person's access to scripture or holy documents. And as such, they are our Unitarian spiritual ancestors. So even in this virtual form, our brunch church today is an invitation to connect and nourish ourselves with one another and with our roots, as has been done for centuries. Now more than ever, my friends, we need one another. We need a strong presence of agape, of that life-giving love. We need that here in Boulder County, and we need it in our nation and in our world. It's a presence that excludes no one and invites everyone into a nourishing, connecting, communal experience, so that we may go forth filled and ready to do the work of the world. I'm going to invite you to spend some time in breakout rooms now, enabling you to form some of those connections with one another. In a moment, as is the magic of Zoom, you will be flung into a smaller Zoom room. And in that room, you'll be asked to reflect on either one or both of these questions. What is nourishing you right now? And what needs do you have for nourishment? Those questions will be posted in the chat as well, so you can remember them. Once you're in the breakout rooms, you'll need to unmute yourselves. The first thing we ask you to do in your breakout room is assign one person to, we call it harvesting the conversation. Listen for gems, things you hear that you can then succinctly put into the chat when the whole group gathers again in about, I believe, in about 10 minutes. Then you'll each have 1 or 2 minutes to share what you wish, and we invite you to do that without crosstalk. And after everyone has had a chance to share and be fully heard, then you can enter into the more relaxed conversation until you're called back into the main room. Now, if what I've said just does not work for you right now for whatever reason, that's fine. You can simply leave the breakout room once you're in there. So you'll be flung into a room, you just leave it, and then you'll be sent back into the main room, where you can quietly wait for others to return or do whatever you want until others return. You can even turn your screen off during that time if you'd like. So you'll be asked to answer for one another as you wish. What is nourishing you right now? And what needs do you have for nourishment? Everyone has now been flung back into our main room. So what I want to do is invite those of you who volunteered to pull out the gems from that conversation, to just start to write a few things down in the chat so that the rest of us can get a sense of what was happening in each of the different rooms. These should not be associated with names. We're really just kind of popping up sentiments and thoughts and words. So what I'm seeing is gardens, being outdoors, connecting with family and friends as we can, which is often more difficult now, star watching, social justice in the ways that we are learning to do it now. Being in nature, reconnecting with family, outdoor activities like hiking and biking. Being on the phone with people. Those of us with life partners in the house are feeling the connection, the gratitude for that, and the constant reinvention of ways to feel connected. And what we've been hearing in these chats is the desire for more physical contact, bonding with more people, the self-care for meditation, the missing being together in a live community with one another. Being connected to our UU communities in a variety of different ways.
As these sentiments keep rolling in about what we're harvesting from our intentional conversations, I invite you to breathe with me. In a moment, we're going to do a breathing meditation. This meditation was inspired by a former religious education assistant at Boulder Valley UU Fellowship, the Reverend J. Lynn Scott. And we will breathe together. We'll breathe in together and then breathe out a silly sound. Perhaps your silly sound sounds like this. Or like this. Oh! Find one that captures your spirit. You'll have the opportunity to be unmuted for this beautiful and playful meditation. We will breathe in and out 2 times with silly sounds. Settle into some silence.
Beep, 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 beep.
Well, that was fun. And Emily, I don't know if you were finished, but we can take one more breath and let out a nice big sigh with no sound at all. Thank you for joining us with that amazing, fun, and playful meditation. And now, my friends, as we celebrate being together in community, in this larger beloved community, let us share our love and compassion through witnessing and sharing the blessings, joys, challenges, and heartbreaks of all that life brings to each and every one of us. If you have something on your heart or on your mind that you'd like to share, please type it into the chat box now. And through this sharing, as we read each other's chats, may you feel the love of this community lessening the weight of your concerns and amplifying the impact of your blessings. Please share with all of us now. Thank you. As we share our thoughts, let's go ahead and listen to the beautiful hymn of meditation on breathing. Feel free to sing along. And let us join together in singing meditation on breathing. Or maybe not. I invite us into a brief meditation and prayer. Please join with me. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. And breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. Let's just settle into our breath. Breathing in peace and breathing out love. Feeling that flow of life as it nourishes us and as we nourish others. And as we create a container of healing and of love for this community. Breathing in peace and breathing out love. I invite you with each breath to pray for or hold in meditation those from the other communities that are joining together today. Those that you know or do not know. Those you invited to sit with you for this service. Send them your love and best wishes. May we feel this flow from the nourishment of life flowing out to all people with great waves of blessing and healing to a world in pain and filled with suffering. May we especially send great love to all Black, Indigenous, people of color, and people who are pushed to the margins of our society. May you rise fully into your power, filled with grace and love. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. And may all beings return to love. Amen.
During this season of not meeting in the same physical space, we nonetheless continue our ministries. Today is a special day when 3 ministries have come together in the spirit of gratitude for this beloved community, reaching out to nourish each other. We continue to welcome donations through online giving with our offering. For convenience, we're using just one link this week for donations, which will be shared between the 3 ministries represented in this service today. You will receive an email acknowledgement from the UU Church of Boulder. Gifts to the Longmont UU Presence will support this powerful multi-generational dinner church. Gifts to the UU Church of Boulder help support their mission to connect bravely, deepen spiritually, embody justice, and always love. Gifts to the Boulder Valley UU Fellowship will be shared, as they are each week, this week with Sister Carmen's COVID Relief Fund. Please be as generous as you can. With your donation, we create connections, lasting relationships, and belonging, which are of benefit to our entire community. Thank you sincerely for your gifts.
Mm-hmm. So with our service today, we are drawing from a long line of people who have gathered to share food in spiritual community. While we're experiencing physical distancing, I'm inviting us into even deeper communal care. There's an old story that you might have heard before about two different dinner tables. There was the me table and the us table. Each of these tables were filled with an abundance of food. There was enough for everyone to eat, and it was bountiful. The only rule was that they had to eat using the spoons provided. Easy enough, people thought, and they set out to eat. The spoons were a bit unusual, however. They were really, really long. And they were so long that the person eating with them could scoop the food from far away, but then they couldn't get it to their mouths. At the me table, everyone was trying to stretch out their necks and stick out their tongues to reach the spoon, or even drop it from the ceiling and try to catch it. But nothing worked. There was so much food in front of them, but they couldn't eat a single morsel. At the us table, the group acted similar for a bit, trying to stretch out their necks or stick out their tongues. But then they had another idea. Do any of you have guesses about what their idea was? What solution did they come up with? You can put your guess in the chat. Some of you have heard this before. Yeah, feeding each other, feed someone else, sharing, excellent. They fed one another. We feed one another. Yeah, they realized that they could reach across the table and feed one another quite easily, and so they did. And it's in this moment when we might be feeling separate and alone, we remember that our goal as a community is to reach out and care with and for one another. We must be like the people at the us table, the ones who reach across our divisions, reach across our communities, our different communities, and share what we have. Because when all of us are nourished, then we can be as well. So to embody this practice, We are going to feed one another today in the tradition of the agape feast and love feast. And my toddler has taught me that it is indeed possible to share food over a video screen. She does it often with her grandparents and aunts and uncles. And so the way this will work is that I invite you to find a bit of food, whether it's real or metaphorical, and hold it up to the camera and say something like, I offer you this food in the spirit of love and nourishment. Or you can say bread or coffee or whatever you have to offer. And then when you are offered a morsel of food, then you take a bite. Okay? And so we will do this a couple times together. I will bless you all first, and then we'll bless one another. I offer you this bread in the spirit of love and nourishment. Now I want you to focus on the people that you're sitting with, actually or metaphorically. Who have you invited to join you? I offer you this bread. Do it with me in the spirit of love and nourishment. And we'll do it one more time. Find someone else on the screen who you don't know very well. I offer you this nourishment in the spirit of love and care. May we use this deep ancient wisdom within us and around us as I chew this bread, which was a poor choice, excuse me, to know that we are connected in love and generosity and nourishment. May we know that we are powerful together and stronger together. May we be the people of us who reach across the table to extend a hand of love and nourishment. May you feel fed in this day and in all the days to come.
So, together, we have explored the theme of nourishment through Brunch Church. We have engaged together in appreciating music. We made some silly sounds. Wasn't that fun? We shared about our lives and we blessed one another. So now, please write in the chat box a word or a phrase of what you are taking away from this time together. Again, please write in the chat a word or phrase of what you are taking away from this time of being together.
And as the takeaways keep rolling in, let us take our community, our connection, our way to touch one another virtually with us, and extinguish our chalice with these words by Reverend Amy Zucker Morgenstern. When we take fire from our chalice, it does not become less, it becomes more. And so we extinguish our chalice, but take its light and warmth with us, multiplying their power by all our lives and sharing it with the world. Please join us in singing, swaying, or dancing along to our closing song, Lead with Love by Melanie DeMore.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't you despair.
Look up ahead.
Look up ahead.
The path is there.
The path is there.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared.
I know you're scared.
And I'm scared too.
And I'm scared too.
But here I am.
But here I am.
Right next to you.
Right next to you.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
So I think we have some consensus among the service leaders to play a piece of music that we missed earlier, the singing portion of the meditation on breathing. Bill, do you have that for us now? And then we'll have our virtual coffee hour just after.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe.
Breathe